Welcome back. So, this is actually going to be a mod video. Surprise! Um, Obviously, you can see on the desk, there's quite a few triple shot blasters. I have assortment of Triads, and obviously the Rebelle, I believe they're called the Messengers. I never remember the Rebelle line names. Doing a bit of testing, a couple of upgrades. I'm doing a little bit of commission work for a friend. No, I am not taking commissioned work. This is for, like I said, for a friend of mine. That's why I'm doing it. But I'm doing a little bit of testing to try and see my essentially what I get on numbers. I've heard that between the white and the blue triads there are a difference. There was a higher FPS numbers with the elite versions over the older versions. I don't know. I wasn't 100%. So, in all honesty, let's go get some chronograph numbers. I have stock blue non-elite version triads. I have a stock elite triad, a modified triad with a worker spring, and then a non-modified messenger. And we're going to see what kind of numbers I get. Now, the modified one was one of my first mods I did probably over a year ago. It has been sitting. It hasn't been cleaned or used for quite some time. So, keep that in mind. I'm not doing like a best of 20 or an average of 20. I'm just putting darts into each one of the cylinders or the barrels, and then we're just going to fire it and see the numbers that we get. So let's go check that out. Okay, so that's what we're looking at for kind of stock or somewhat, modified. A little bit surprising because I was always under the impression that the white elite was supposed to have better internals. Now, I'm not really sure why I'm not getting better numbers. Like I said, I was always under the impression they were supposed to be, but clearly the stock, regular blue triad was getting pretty high numbers. Actually, was getting better numbers than the messenger. I mean, wild. I didn't test both messengers. I did not test both blue triads, partially because I could tell that when I was dry firing them, this one seemed to move very quickly, and this was the one that I tested. There's a much better seal, and you can see with how slow that's actually moving. So that's why I chose that one, because I figured it would have a little bit better numbers. And then, unfortunately, one of the blue ones that I have, this one was the one I tested. This one is struggling to catch for some reason. So I need to get in and either figure out what's going on, or we might have to repair it by sacrificing one of the white ones, the elites. I'm not really sure. My friend did want the blue ones to begin with, so seeing that they potentially have higher numbers than the elites, yet again, as surprising as that is actually a good choice. I've already got 2 upgrade springs. We're going to go ahead and swap those into them, and then we're going to see about possibly repairing that trigger and catch and see if we can't get that to work. We're also going to upgrade the messengers, and I'm going to try and use some old Chronos springs, because if you follow me over on Twitch, obviously I've been doing a lot of mods to Chronos blasters and different rival blasters, so I have quite a collection of springs left over, and he did not want K26, so we're going to go with that. And let me clean this all off, and we'll dive right into it. All right. So we have some pretty interesting information. Going through this, obviously the Rebelles worked perfectly with the mods. They take a chrono spring very well. I clipped them down, and obviously, if we noticed in the footage, we're getting mid 80s up to low 90s on both Rebelles. That's pretty standard for these. So these are actually really, really nice. The Triads, I had to do a little bit of testing. Now, between the original Triad and the Elite Triads, I found some peculiar numbers. As I said before, I was very surprised because I was always told that the Elite versions had upgraded internals. Of course, if we look back at a lot of the numbers, a stock Elite Triad was getting low 50s to maybe high 60s, which was, yet again, very surprising. The upgraded one that I had with an upgraded spring, and I believe it's a blaster parts, upgraded spring, or it could be a worker. I don't remember off the top of my head. I was only getting mid 50s to low 70s. I mean, if anything, it barely pumped it up to a few FPS. So that was kind of a letdown. I didn't realize it. And you can see I have a gutted Elite right here. I actually took one of the originals and actually swapped the internals to see if there was a difference at all in the internals, whether it was something to do with the plunger tube or the plunger head or anything like that. To my surprise, the original blue stock Triads were roughly getting between the low 70s and high 70s. Sometimes you'd even get into the low 80s. Very, very good, actually. Very surprisingly good. Now, with the upgraded springs from Worker, which I have a few different upgrade springs that I picked up. The Worker springs were garbage. I'm sorry, Worker. I like a lot of your stuff. I like a lot of your mods. But these were total trash. I was getting the exact same numbers. Almost no difference. I mean, seriously, nothing. I don't even say you can call it an increase at all. But when trying the Blaster Tech spring, obviously you can see how much longer it is. It's a very hard prime, and when it does catch, if you can get it to catch, it was actually hitting close to high 90s. So it's a very, very good spring, but due to the person I'm trying to make this for, it's a bit much, little too much. So I had to go through my bin, pick up some springs, and I upgraded both of these, and now both of them are hitting between low 80s to high 80s, sometimes breaking into the low 90s now with these. So these are now almost on par with the Rebelles, just with some simple springs. The springs I use are very similar to the ones you can get out of the Tech 5s or the Tech 6. They're pretty standard through all the Busby lines. Really, really good springs. They actually really liven these up perfectly without making it so ridiculous as the Blaster Tech one. So these are great. The back cap, unfortunately, on the blue ones, they do glue them in place with the pegs. The later Elite ones, they no longer use the glue, so the cap was easier to pop out on the white one, but the blue one kind of suffered some failures, obviously. But I'll talk with my friend, see if he wants me to change both of them out for a white one. If he's totally fine with them being offset colors like that, I would say a success. And we're finished, and I will be sending these off to him. I'm sure he'll be very happy. Now they're actually hitting in really fun numbers. They have a very good pop to them, and I'm hoping his friends will also be happy when they receive them. So, thanks for watching. Hey, if you made it this far, you're awesome. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and come check me out over on Twitch to keep up to date on my current mods I'm working on. I hope to see you there sometime.